What is going on, basketball fans? Today we got our full NBA playoff predictions from the play-in all the way to the championship. I'm ready to start. Just want to say real quick, subscribe if you guys are new. We do a ton of college basketball content here on the channel, and we're going to get into some more NBA stuff as well. Mock drafts, free agency, stuff like that. Make sure you guys subscribe and comment down below who you guys have in your finals matchup, who's winning that matchup, and how many games. Let me know down below in the comment section. Let's get it started. All right, so we're going to start with our play-in games. Let's start in the Western Conference because I know you guys really want to know. I mean, it's been the big talk of the town, right? Like, who's going to come out of the West here in these play-in games? We got the Lakers, Warriors, Kings, and Pelicans. But Lakers, Warriors, obviously two massive franchises that have a ton of fans, which is really why it's been talked about a ton. And honestly, we'll see. It's not out of the realm of possibility that the Lakers and the Warriors miss the playoffs, but let's break it down. So, the winner of New Orleans and the Lakers actually get the worst matchup. They have to go up against Denver, and it's been a big talk. Will the Lakers, or even the Pelicans too, try to purposely lose this game so then they can get, the easier matchup with the Thunder? The Thunder are the 1 seed, but it would be the easier matchup. And I know people are going to be like, no, they're the 1 seed. They deserve it. It's not the easier matchup. Well, the Nuggets are the defending champions, and they match up really well with almost anybody. And the way they play is so tough to guard. The Thunder are a really good team. SGA is going to be playing, definitely an MVP contender, but so is Jokic. But SGA, J-Dub's been going crazy this year. They got Chet Holmgren in his rookie year going crazy, protecting the rim. That was huge for them, stretching the floor from the 5 position. Lou Dort, Josh Giddey. So they have a very solid team, but they're young. Are they ready to get there yet? And when you have a very experienced team like the Lakers, who could potentially match up well with the Thunder, have a ton more experience, it makes it interesting. It's definitely the favorable matchup, especially for the Lakers. I think New Orleans, are going to have a tough time either way because they're not as experienced either. But with Brandon Ingram coming back, and him coming back and playing pretty well, that is going to be huge for them. But I think either way, the more favorable matchup for New Orleans or the Lakers would be to lose the first play-in game and then beat either the Warriors or the Kings in the next matchup. I am going to say New Orleans does beat the Lakers and claim that 7 seed. It will be New Orleans Nuggets in the 2-7 for my predictions. And then I'm going to actually say that the Warriors beat the Kings, and I'm not confident in that at all. I mean, the Kings are a young team, but they got some experience, some good experience in the playoffs last year. Keegan Murray's improved this year. Sabonis is still that guy. Fox is still that guy. Malik Monk is there. He's really good. I think, again, the experience with the Warriors, I think that Curry's going to have a big game, of course. I like the Warriors in that one. And then in the Warriors-Lakers matchup, I am going to go with the Lakers. I think with AD being there, he's going to have a big game against the Warriors. And the Lakers are going to take that 8 seed and play the Thunder. So that is our play-in winners for the West. I am going to have the Lakers at the 8 seed and New Orleans as the 7 seed. Let's go on to the Eastern Conference play-in. So we do have Philly versus Miami, which is an insane game for a 7 seed spot. Both these teams are what we expected to be much better than the 7 seed, but both teams have had a lot of injuries this year, and either one of these teams going up against the Knicks could knock them off. Not going to lie. One of these teams could knock off the Knicks 100%, especially without Julius Randle. He's going to be out for the rest of the year, not playing in the playoffs. So with Joel Embiid back, with Miami's roster back, they could definitely make a run. Now, for who I think is going to win that matchup, I am going to go with Miami. I just think, Joel Embiid, they definitely could win. It's very 50-50, but I think Miami Heat play hard, man. I don't think Joel Embiid is completely back up to 100% yet. I think the Heat win this one, and they get the Knicks in round 1, which is going to be a very good matchup for them. And then we have Philly versus the winner of Atlanta and Chicago. I'm not going to lie, that one doesn't really matter too much. I'm going to go with the Hawks. I think the Hawks are a slightly better team. I think they have more talent. I think Trae Young can hit some big shots down the stretch. I'm going to go with the Hawks to defeat the Bulls. And then we do have to get the 8 seed, Philly versus the Hawks. I'm going to go with Philly to defeat Atlanta and claim that 8 seed. So our 8 seed in the East is Philly. Our 7 seed in the East is the Miami Heat. So let's get into the actual playoff predictions. Starting with the West, we have our 1 seed Thunder going up against our 8 seed Lakers, and this is an interesting matchup. I think it's going to go to at least 6 games either way. Again, I talked about earlier that the experience that the Lakers have with LeBron, Anthony Davis, even guys like Spencer Dinwiddie, who's been playing pretty good minutes for them. They actually have a pretty solid roster that has some depth now with Rui, Austin Reeves, D'Angelo Russell. I mentioned Dinwiddie, Jackson Hayes. They have dudes on this team that actually goes pretty deep. And even though the Thunder are young, I was thinking about taking the Lakers in the series. I think it is a much favorable matchup, much more favorable matchup than going against the Nuggets for the Lakers because they did get swept by the Nuggets last year. I think this one goes to 6. It could even go to 7. I'm not gonna lie. Game 6 would be in LA. I think that they could pull it off, but I'm gonna say that the Thunder go on the road, win it in 6 against the Lakers. I don't see the Thunder being able to be like a championship contender this year or even making the finals because they're so young. But I think against the Lakers, they will be able to get it done in 6. Young team, they play great. I think Chet Holmgren's going to be able to protect the rim on them. Him versus AD is going to be interesting, 100%. But I think, I think SGA just is going to be too much. And the Thunder played pretty good defense as well. Give me the Thunder in 6. Then we got the Clippers versus the Mavericks. This may be the most hyped up series in my opinion. Like, I am super excited to see these teams go at it. Luka in the playoffs is so fun to watch. And we're finally seeing Luka and Kyrie fully getting comfortable playing with each other, and they are one of the hottest teams heading into the playoffs. And I am going to take that into account because the Clippers did have a run this season where they looked like the best team in the league. But right now, the Mavericks are kind of having their run, and the Clippers might be meeting them at the wrong time. I just think Luka and Kyrie both turn up in the playoffs. So does Kawhi. But the Clippers just seem like, I just don't know if this whole team with Kawhi, Paul George, and now they're adding James Harden, Westbrook, like I just don't think it's really going to work out. And with Harden, Paul George both being free agents this year, with Kyrie and Luka both turning up right now, playing super well together, even though the Mavericks don't have a good front court, which could be, what ultimately takes them out of this playoffs. I just think the Clippers could play good defense, but I think the Mavericks do it, man. I'm going to say the Mavericks, honestly, they could do it in 6. I don't even think it could go to 7. It definitely could go to 7, but I'm going to take the Mavericks in 6 to win it in Dallas and finish them off. I just think Mavericks in this Clippers whole situation, Paul George is free agent, he dips, James Harden dips, and the Clippers just going to have to rebuild around Kawhi Leonard, a new team. They might not dip, they might re-sign those players, but I just think playoff Luka, playoff Kyrie, let's get it. Mavericks in 6 to take on the Thunder next round. Then we got the T-Wolves versus the Suns. This is an interesting matchup because, man, the Suns, they have a really good starting 5. You know, they have Kevin Durant. They have Devin Booker. They have Bradley Beal now. I just don't know because they could be missing like that true point guard on this team, that true playmaker, and also depth. They're also missing some depth. The T-Wolves have such a good front court, and they defend so well. I mean, it's like Ant Edwards said. They got Kevin Durant, but we got Jaden McDaniels. Like, he is a super good defender. You know, a lot of people laughed at him when he said that, but, like, he's a good defender. He wasn't saying that Jaden McDaniels is as good as KD, saying that he could, they have a guy that could potentially guard KD if they need him to. And with Rudy Gobert being down low, protecting the rim, and then you got Cat who can stretch the floor, you got Naz Reid who can stretch the floor. That's a lot of size, man. And if Anthony Edwards is dropping anywhere close, if he's dropping 30 a game in the series, the T-Wolves are going to win. Because that's the kind of worry about the T-Wolves. Do they have enough offense, and do they have enough shooting? That's in my opinion. And I think they have some decent shooters. Naz Reid is a really good shooter. I think they need Anthony Edwards to knock down his shots in order to win this series. And if Anthony Edwards, like I said, if he's averaging close to 30 a game, if he's hitting his open three-point looks, the T-Wolves are going to win this series. And I think that they win this series in 7. I think the Suns are going to be able to win enough games in the series to keep it competitive. I'm going to take the T-Wolves in 7 games. Then we got the Nuggets versus New Orleans. And I think New Orleans, they're starting to turn up. Like, Zion's playing good. Brandon Ingram's back. He's going to be playing good. I think New Orleans might get 1. I'm going to give them 1, but honestly, they might get swept. I think that there are some flashes for New Orleans. I mean, they almost won 50 games this season. That's something. I don't think, it's crazy that a team can almost win 50 games. They won 49 or 48. They can win that many games and they're not secure in the playoffs. They still have to play the play-in. So I'm going to give them 1, especially with Brandon Ingram being back, but give me the Nuggets there in that one. Let's move on to the first round of the East. So we got the Celtics versus who do I have? The Philly as the 8 seed. I just don't think Philly matches up well with the Celtics. I mean, the Celtics have been playing so good, and like I mentioned, I don't know if Joel Embiid is back full 100%. I'm going to take the Celtics in 5. I could honestly say a sweep, but I'm going to give, a courtesy game to the Sixers. The Celtics might sweep them. I don't think the Sixers match up well against the Celtics at all. I think Philly could match up decently with the Knicks. So does Miami. If they were able to beat Miami in the play-in, I think that they could potentially knock off the Knicks. But the Celtics, I just don't see it, especially with Embiid not being fully healthy. I think, honestly, the Celtics might sweep them, and, Philly's going to get prepared for next year. Tyrese Maxey has been playing well. Tobias Harris is a free agent. We'll see what happens there, but there is some room for them to retool a little bit around Embiid and Maxey, and we'll see what they can do. Next up, we got Cavs and Magic. This is going to be, a very grinded out game. Both have a lot of length, a lot of good front court players, some good defenders. It's going to be interesting. I mean, I think that the difference maker for me might be Darius Garland. I mean, Donovan Mitchell is going to play hard, but Donovan Mitchell is not going to be a Cavalier next year. So is he going to play super hard in the series? I worry about that. I mean, my gut just tells me Cavs. I mean, I know the Magic have Palu, Jonathan Isaac. They have a lot of size on that team, man. Wendell Carter, the Wagner bros. They have a lot of size, but I think the guard play of Mitchell and Garland, even though the Magic have Suggs, I just don't think Suggs, even though Suggs is a good player, he's a good defender, but If the Magic win, it's because Donovan Mitchell doesn't really care anymore about this season because he's not going to be a Cavalier next year. But I think he's still going to play hard, so that's why I'm going to take the Cavs in 7. It might go 7. 6 or 7. But I like the Cavs. I think Donovan Mitchell's going to hoop. Darius Garland's going to hoop. But if the Magic win, it's going to be because of the forward position. They have so much length, so much size. They can defend. They can score in the post. I like the Cavs, though, to win because they do have guys like Jared Allen, Evan Mobley. Like, they're going to be able to guard, the size of the Magic, especially in the paint. So I'm going to take the Cavs. I like the Cavs here in this series. The Bucks and the Pacers. This is interesting because, the Pacers, ironically play at a very high pace. And that's definitely going to be interesting. Giannis does have like a calf injury, which is, something to keep an eye out on. I don't think it's going to be too big of a deal. But especially the way Milwaukee went out last year, I feel like they're going to be on something this year, man. And with Dame Lillard, Giannis, they have to win this year. They have to win this series. I think, the Pacers, another super young team, where I just don't know if I don't know if they have enough physicality to play playoff basketball against a team like the Bucks. I just don't know if they have enough physicality. Brook Lopez isn't going to be, the craziest big in the world for Miles Turner to have to guard. He's a stretch 5. We know this. But guys like Giannis, Chris Middleton's going to be in there fighting for boards. Dame Lillard is outstanding in the first round of the playoffs. I think Tyrese Halliburton is definitely going to play awesome. I think Benedict Mathurin is actually out for this series. But I think Tyrese Halliburton is going to play awesome. I just don't think it's going to be enough. I'm honestly going to go Bucks in 5. Then we got the Knicks versus Miami, and this is where I could see a potential upset happening. I'm not sure if I see any of the lower seeds upsetting the Knicks or upsetting any of the top seeds this year, but if any of them do, I think it would be the Heat or Philly to beat the Knicks. I mean, without Julius Randle, Jalen Brunson is playing so darn good right now. But if playoff Jimmy comes out, the Heat could win. Jalen Brunson's playing good. DiVincenzo's playing good. I think, the Knicks are going to have Mitchell Robinson down low. They're going to have Hartenstein down low. I just don't think it's going to be enough, man. I don't think it's going to be enough to take them on a deep run. Can Jalen Brunson get them past the Heat? That's the question. But with Bam, Hero, Butler, you can't count out the Heat, man. They're so well coached. Spoelstra's the best coach in the league. I'm actually going to go with the Miami Heat. They made a run last year to the finals from the 8 seed. I just don't count them out, especially they're getting healthy. Give me the Heat to beat the Knicks. I don't trust the Knicks. I don't think this is their year. I think, they're going to have Randall back next year. They're going to go out and probably get maybe Donovan Mitchell, and they might get Mikal Bridges. Like, if they get both those players, the Knicks are going to be a problem next year. Definitely. And they could be a problem this year. I could see them getting as far as the Eastern Conference Finals. If Jalen Brunson's just going on an absolute tear. Josh Hart is a guy with some experience. He could, provide them some more offense, play hard. But I like the Heat, man. The way that they play, especially come playoff time, they play hard. Super well coached. I'm taking the Heat. 7-2 upset. Kind of crazy, but we seen the Heat make the finals last year from an 8 seed. So I think, winning a series here, not too crazy. I think that they could win this in 6 or 7. Now we got the West semis. We got the Thunder. We got the Mavericks. And this is going to be a fun matchup. SGA versus Luka, 2 of the top MVP candidates this year. And the Mavericks are just meshing so well right now, but SGA is coming back. They're going to be playing hard. I think this series probably could go to 7. But I just think playoff Luka, playoff Kyrie, they just play so good in the playoffs, man. But are they going to have the front court to be able to compete with the Thunder and Chet Holmgren and Williams, and need some of these role players at this point to step up? Guys like Daniel Gafford, especially. Guys like PJ Washington, 100%. Derrick Jones Jr. is going to have to provide a little bit of scoring. Tim Hardaway Jr. is going to have to hit his shots. I think that they could do it. I think that inexperience of the Thunder, I think that this is where they get knocked out. I'm going to have the 5 seed Mavericks make it to the Western Conference Finals. Then we got the T-Wolves versus the Nuggets, and this is going to be very fun because the Nuggets with Joker, man, going up against the T-Wolves and that front court, Rudy Gobert is going to be on him. It's going to be interesting because the thing about Jokic, man, he's so freaking good at passing. We know this. He's going to be able to play make. Even if Rudy Gobert is on him in the post, he's still going to find ways to score in the post. He can bring Rudy Gobert out to the 3-point line. It's just, he is such a good player, and I don't think the T-Wolves are going to have enough scoring in this one. I'm going to take the Nuggets. Honestly, it could be 5, but I'm gonna say 6. I'm gonna say 6, but it could be 5. I think the Nuggets are so good, and they don't have like a crazy record this year in the regular season, but coming off the title last year, the championship last year, they're just gonna be on a tear, and it's gonna be tough to knock them out. Give me the Nuggets to win that one. Next up, we got the Celtics and the Cavs. I just think the Celtics, again, I don't see the Cavs giving them too much issues. Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown are just going to be going crazy, and this is the year the Celtics have a very good path right now. They have a very, very good path right now to the finals, and this got to be the year they get back to the finals, man. I think it's got to be the year Tatum, Brown, they got to get there. Give me the Celtics in 5. Next up, we got the Bucks versus the Heat. Would be a very fun matchup. I actually think that the Bucks match up better against the Knicks than they do the Heat. So I really don't think the Bucks are trying to see the Heat here. I think if the Bucks see the Knicks, they're going to be happy. The only good thing about them seeing the Heat instead is they are going to have the home court advantage in the series. And the Heat just could cause them so much problem. They got Bam Adebayo, who's going to be able to defend, rebound against guys like Giannis. Tyler Hero, he could be going off. And then you got playoff Jimmy. I think that this game could go to 7. I'm going to say the Bucks win in 7. I don't think the Heat make a magical run like they did last year. That does not happen often. It's going to be crazy if they even knock off the Knicks, which I have them doing. I'm going to go with the Bucks here to make it back to the Eastern Conference Finals. Dame, Giannis, Middleton, they got to get back there this year, man. They got to get back to the conference finals. I think they do it. Mavericks versus Nuggets would be a very fun matchup. 2 of the leading candidates for MVP this year, Joker and Luka. I really don't know who I want to go with in this matchup, man. Because I think the Nuggets are the better team. And this is just where the Mavericks are 1 year away, man. They need a little bit more help. I think that they match up good with a lot of the teams in the top of the West bracket. Like the Clippers, I think that they can beat the Thunder. The Thunder, another team, they're just another year of experience, man. They're going to be able to get to the conference finals. I just don't think this year. I just think the Mavericks, having no front court going up against the Joker, is tough. And Aaron Gordon plays a huge role in that team. Dunking the ball, shooting from the corner, rebounding, defending. Jamal Murray, can't count him out either. You know, he's going to get his buckets in the playoffs. This is tough because I think the Mavericks are going to score. It wouldn't surprise me if Luka and Kyrie average like 70 a game as a duo in this series, but I still think the Nuggets are going to win. It could go 7. I think probably 6. I'm going to take the Nuggets to make it back to the finals after winning the championship last year. I think the Mavericks are going to get a solid big man on this team. If they can get a big that can stretch the floor, that can play at just a high level, man, this team is going to be so nasty next year, and they get some depth as well. Next year, the Mavericks and the Thunder, honestly, and the T-Wolves too. Like, if the T-Wolves get a little bit more offense, they get some more shooting. The Suns, you know, these teams got to make the right moves to get back and be able to defeat the Nuggets. The Suns need more depth. The Suns need a true point guard, in my opinion. But yeah, I had the Nuggets winning that series. I wanted to go with the Mavs as kind of a 5 seed run to the finals. I just think, you know, if they meet the Nuggets, they met their match because they just don't have a good front court, and they're going up against the best center in the league, man. It's crazy. Celtics and the Bucks. Very fun series here. Giannis, Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Dame Lillard. The stars are out in this one. Now the Celtics have a guy like Porzingis, who's going to be another guy who can protect the rim, try to stop Giannis. I love the Celtics' path this year to the finals. It's going to be really hard for someone to convince me the Celtics aren't going to make the finals this year. I think that they are going to have to blow something. They're going to have to blow something in one of these series. Jason Tatum's going to... I think they're bound to make the Eastern Conference Finals. It would surprise me greatly if they don't make the finals. But I just think, you know, they match up really well against the Bucks with Porzingis, Tatum. They're going to be able to... I think... They're not going to stop Giannis, but that's like a great recipe to be able to slow down Giannis. And then they got guys like Derek White who can defend. This got to be the Celtics' year. This got to be the Celtics' year that they get back to the finals after losing to the Warriors a couple years ago in the finals. This got to be the year they get back. You know, they've been playing like the best team in the league all year long. They got a great path to the Eastern Conference Finals. If it is the Bucks that get there, I think that they match up really well. I think the East is theirs this year, and I got the Celtics beating the Bucks. Honestly, it could only go 5 games. I could give them 6, but honestly, I think the Celtics could win that one in 5 games. Now, Celtics, Nuggets, I think these are the 2 best teams in the NBA. I think they're going to meet in the finals this year, and this would be an absolute amazing series. Again, the Celtics, man, adding Porzingis, Drew Holiday. Great defenders, man. Great defenders. Porzingis is going to be able to be on Jokic. Porzingis is also going to be, you know, offensively able to bring Porzingis out, you know, stretch the floor on him, make him move around on defense. That's going to be a great matchup. And with Tatum and Brown, I don't know if the Nuggets are going to have enough to be able to stop them. Michael Porter Jr., Aaron Gordon, great players, but Jason Tatum, he didn't play the best, you know, last time they were in the finals against the Warriors. This year he's going to have to turn up. And I know Jaylen Brown's going to be hooping. I know that. I think this year's Celtics team is built to win the championship, man. They're built to win the championship. I think this is going to be an awesome series. The Celtics are going to have home court advantage, and I'm going to take the Celtics in 7 to win it all in Boston. I just think that the key additions of Porzingis down low, who's going to be able to defend the Joker, not stop him but slow him down. Drew Holiday, They're going to be able to put on Jamal Murray. Jaylen Brown might not even have to guard Jamal Murray. He can just get buckets, man, and guard a guy like Caldwell Pope. Dude, yeah, I like the Celtics a lot, man. I think they have an awesome path, and I think with the additions that they made, they match up well with a lot of these teams. And it's hard not to pick the Celtics to win the championship this year. I think this got to be their year. Tatum, Brown, they get their first ring, and they're still so young, man. They're still so young of players. This team is built to win. I think these are the two best teams in the league. I would be surprised if the Celtics don't come out of the East. The West is more up for grabs. I think the Nuggets are the best team, but they are prone to being upset. I think the Timberwolves maybe have a slight chance at beating them, but not really. If the Thunder somehow get past the Mavericks, they could honestly, the team that has the best chance of knocking off the Nuggets might be the Clippers. But the Clippers are going to have to get past the Mavs and the Thunder first. I just don't know if I see that happening. I think it's going to be Celtics Nuggets. I think the Celtics are going to win the championship. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. Who are your guys' finals matchup? Who do you have winning and in how many games? I got the Celtics over Nuggets in 7. Boston wins it in Boston. Finishes it out. Let me know what you guys think. Subscribe if you guys are new. And thank you so much for watching.